Well, good evening and welcome. Marvin Turner, W0MT here, your host this evening for HamShackTV. We have a very special guest this evening for you, talking about the Bouvet Island. So hope that if you're out there in the chats, you're or sharing this out, please go out there and share with others. Let them know that you're watching HamShackTV this evening. So give us about a minute or so and we'll get this party started. Thank you for those that are joining already. Got several coming on board. Good morning, Pepe. We got several more joining in here. Thank you for joining this evening and welcome.
It's 20 hours.
Well, my computer says it's 20 hours. Let's get this party started. Well, hello and good evening. Thank you for joining us this evening. As I mentioned in the pre-show there, we do have a very special guest here this evening for talking about Bouvet Island. I think we're having a very exciting show. Thank you for those that are continuing to join. Please go ahead and share this out with us and let people know that you're watching HamShackTV. Well, with no further ado, let's go ahead and bring in our guest this evening and see what they got to say. And we'll go ahead and bring the original host of the show back, Josh, AA4WX. Good evening, Josh.
Howdy, howdy.
Absolutely. Glad to have you in here. And we bring Mr. Hillbilly Ham himself. Good evening, Super Dave.
Howdy there, Marvin. Oh, now it's passed on to you too, huh?
Hey, I just got to carry on the tradition. Absolutely. And of course, Ramp Rat, good evening to you.
Hi. Sorry about that.
Absolutely. And we're going to go ahead and bring our special guest too and say hi to him this evening. Bob, good evening.
Good evening, Marv. How you doing?
I'm good. Well, welcome. Well, hello all. Say good morning or good evening to those in the chat as well. Pepe is here. And we've got Chris, Radio and Life. Thank you for showing up this evening as well. And K8KAZ Levi. Good to see you again here in the evening show as well. So, well, let's go start with Josh because I know he is a short timer this evening as he's going to be out and about, and that's why I'm the host this evening. And so let's get started with our weeks, kind of see how we were doing and what's going on with our, life in general and any ham radio projects or something you're working on. So over to you.
Well, good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome in. I know it's kind of weird having Marvin doing all the talking. I'm here short time tonight. I have to be at the airport at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning for flight to Detroit. So we'll be up in Detroit for Friday and Saturday. Be home for one day on Sunday and then flying to Los Angeles on Monday morning. So kind of crazy stuff. You'll see Marvin again next week for our Halloween special. I hear there's going to be some spooky antics. We'll see. But anyway, that's really about it. Just a lot of travel, but did not want to miss this. I'm so glad to see Bob on the stream tonight. It's going to be a very, very interesting place because honestly, I've never heard of Bouvet Island until this. So this is exciting.
Wow.
Wow. Well, good. Should be very interesting. So I think as we heard, we shared this out on This Week in Amateur Radio. This island's way down in the South Pacific there. So Atlantic. Yeah, sorry. Yes, apologies. Oh, thank you. Hello, Andy. Welcome.
Somewhere out in the water, at least.
Somewhere out in the water. Yes, Atlantic. Right. You're correct. So over to you, Dave. How are you doing this week?
Oh, doing pretty good. Busy at work, so not doing much with radio and stuff. And because of work, I lost my streak on logging.
Oh no!
Other than that, just looking forward to tonight, man.
If you pay us enough, I might be able to take care of.
I'm kind of shocked Josh hasn't heard of Bouvet Island. It's one of the most sought after DX
that's a
there
big one.
is.
Yes.
I think I had my technician license and Bouvet was on, and I just gotten into ham radio. I had a 10-meter radio, and I did not know how working split worked, and so I may have even got yelled at by a couple of less than friendly hams over that deal.
Oh boy. Yeah. Mr. Ramprat, Jason, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Just been working my butt off, doing a lot of training. Talked to HF today and talked to Photoboy. Just been relaxing. Got to go back to work tomorrow. That's what I got going.
I'll tell you what I just realized.
What?
I just realized I need to call up Ray Novak and get some sponsorship dollars because apparently me and Ramprat are twinning tonight.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Totally not planned.
No, that was not. I just noticed that. I didn't know that till you said something.
Well, we can definitely plan it and have, because I have that exact set. Well, I have the shirt you have, Josh.
Oh.
Do what, Dave?
I have the shirt you have, the black camouflage.
I love it. It's not this has nothing to do with Icon, but my gosh, it is the most comfortable T-shirt of all time.
It is.
Really?
Something about that material is just.
It is.
It's almost like you're not wearing a shirt. It's so light and thin. It's wonderful.
We are all glad you are.
I just got one thing to say, Josh. Get out of my head, okay?
This is a family show. Just remember that.
Absolutely. So you did wear a tutu once.
That is true.
It's not Clubhouse. Got it.
Well, Tortoise Overland, welcome. Good to see you this evening here. Working at Wally World this evening. So, anyway, glad you're joining in. Mr. Andy, World Radio Lead Product Manager this evening, or N0APX.
Hey,
I don't know.
I am. Yes, I'm in Zero APX always, but I am the World Radio League Product Manager. So, great to see everybody. This week has been another crazy, intense week over at World Radio League as we continue to adapt to our new database. But every day we're just leaps and bounds closer. So we're just about to the point where we're going to start cranking out some new features, and we're really, really, really excited about it. So, if you spot any issues, please go report them. Let us know, because we're trying to keep quality top notch while also delivering on some fantastic new stuff. But our numbers are looking fantastic. I mean, we're getting hundreds of new users every week, and it's just it's really going really well. So we're thankful for that for sure. And we have a fantastic team put together, several developers, a large content team. We're cranking stuff out like crazy. So,
well, good. That's always good. I mean, it is. You guys are making some amazing progress, and I know I even joined in on your live stream. I usually do join in the live stream. I just don't always actually join in on the live stream and put in chat. But after using it this past weekend, I was a little frustrated. So I was like, all right, I got to ask some questions. And then I was having some issues with my log and little things here and there. And so you were able to help me get those resolved to it, which I appreciate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
you guys
Most
haven't-
of these issues that are popping up are just all like front end stuff that just, it's like an edge case that we didn't realize was going on, or, just something, some users using it in a way that we didn't know they were going to do that, or, this and that kind of thing. And so whenever those pop up, we're able to catch them and nail them down right away. But they're getting much fewer and farther between by the day.
Yeah, if you guys have not gone out and joined World Radio League yet, just even the free membership, to start using that logger, please go out and join them. But if you'd like to join into their VIP or their premium program, use the code HamShackTV for 10% off paid memberships. It's a great deal, and I know Josh will appreciate it. And,
HamShackTV 10.
HamShackTV
10.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yep, sorry about that. Missed that one. But yeah, HamShack TV 10. So is that also that same code work for Ham Radio Prep too?
No, it is HamShack TV.
Just HamShack.
I've tried to unify, and Andy, you might can help on this. I don't know. I've tried to unify them. I've created the HamShack TV coupon code in World Radio League, and it got rejected.
Yeah. There's a weird thing with the two systems where we kind of have to split it up between two different codes due to the systems that we use on the processing end. So it's easier if we just set it up with two separate codes.
So yeah, if you haven't reached out to World Radio, look at that, or go over and look at the phenomenal programs over at Ham Radio Prep. They have great programs over there. They really do. They got the newest satellite one. And Andy has kind of teased that there's another new program.
Got something in the works, and it's really exciting. So stay tuned.
Yeah. So if it was exciting as the intro video that they did for the teaser for the satellite stuff, and what that course consists of, then it will be incredible. So
yeah, I will say, beginning of next year, next year they're going to be releasing the new technician pool. So the beginning of next year, we're going to start working on an updated technician course.
Nice.
But in the meantime, until we get there, we've got another project going on that we're really excited about. So
very cool. Well, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Bob W9AP and ask him how his week is, and then release this over to you for tell us all about Bouvet and what it is. And I understand you have a presentation you want to share a little bit with us too. So I think that's why everybody's here. And thank you all for joining. There's a good group of us in here this evening watching. So thank you all for showing up. I see Gary in there and a couple others. So anyway, thank you again for being here. So Bob, the floor is yours, buddy.
Hey, great. Thanks. Well, I would characterize my week as a little stressful, and for a couple of reasons. Give you a little background about myself. I've been licensed for 46 years. My interests in ham radio center on DXing and almost exclusively there, but I also do tower installation and maintenance and that sort of thing. That's how Marv and I got together.
I will say he did an excellent job on that too.
And, there's always plenty in that area. I could be as busy as I would want to be. This week, I had hoped to be actually traveling and putting up a 70-foot Roan 65 in northeastern Wisconsin. And unfortunately, a couple of things got in the way of that. The other things that have been a little bit stressful, my life really revolves around two things: my family and ham radio and the things that I've talked about. So I am a team member on the Bouvet 3Y0 Kilo expedition. I'll be talking about that. I have a PowerPoint type presentation that we'll get to in just a couple of minutes. We've gone through a lot as a team thus far, and finally got the release to book some flights. So
that's good to hear.
I did the dance starting Tuesday night with United Airlines, And yesterday I spent 11 hours straight on a text with various United Chat agents to try to straighten out a screw up. So suffice to say that was a little stressful. The other thing, and it relates directly to Bouvet, and I don't know how many of you are avid DXers, but there's some stuff in the news that I want to talk just a little bit about before I get into our presentation. Earlier this week, Krasse, K1LZ, who was a member of the 3Y0K team until the leadership team elected to inform him that he was no longer a part of the team for good and sufficient reasons, put out what he called an open letter to the DX community. And whenever there are disagreements, there's two sides to every story.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of try to take that head on because some of you may have some questions about that. About 3 hours ago, the 3Y0K leadership team that's comprised of Ken, LA7 GIA, Adrian KO8 SCA, Cesar VE3LYC, I think, haven't got that one memorized, and Dennis KT8X released a press release. And I'd like to read that to you because I think it will give you some good background. It reads as follows. While an open letter circulates on the internet, we decided to respond in a different manner. It reads as follows. Hello?
Sorry about that. That was me.
Sorry, keep going.
The 3 Yankee 0 Kilo team remains committed to activate Bouvet Island in 2026. Our project continues. It is on schedule as planned with a departure date of February 1st, 2026 from Cape Town. The team has a written contract that dictates how a shortfall in money will be handled. Multiple members defaulted on that agreement as they, for several months, were refusing to pay their share of the contractual obligations, exposing the team to a large financial risk, shortfall of funds, and potential cancellation of this and future DXpeditions. With a total budget of $1.7 million, where the team has already spent $1.1 million, the team has faced severe financial and contractual consequences. Almost all of our equipment, like radio and amplifiers, are generously loaned by our sponsors. And while antenna scope is important, it's a small cost in the total overall budget. To protect the interest of everyone involved, the current team members contributed an additional $150,000 of our personal funds to ensure the financial success of the DXpedition. The current team's commitment is exemplified through this additional contribution, as we have focused on avoiding a financial loss for everyone involved due to the breach of contract by former members. Our focus is now solely on Cape Town logistics and operations to support the February 1st departure date. We are booking flights and working with local stakeholders to ensure a successful start. The team has a good spirit and work well towards a common goal while we want to enjoy this DXpedition. Team spirit is everything when you want to get to the most remote island on the planet. We continue our plan to set up and operate 2 operating camps on Bouvet, with 1 camp focused on North America. Camp locations will be dictated by final conditions and a survey upon arrival, keeping in mind that safety must always come first. The leadership group interviewed 4 medical doctors interested in supporting the DXpedition, and the team doctor will be announced in due course.
Wow.
Our priority remains to ensure the success of the project. The team continues to focus on complex logistics necessary for a successful DXpedition, and we thank the DX community for their continued support. So before or as I kick off and get into the presentation, one of the things that I've learned both as a DXer and as a DXpeditioner is there are some pretty vital elements to a successful DXpedition. There's really only two in terms of what you can control. Number one is that you have a cohesive team that plays well together, is respectful, and when the brown stuff hits the fan, is ready to pull together to be able to get the job done. The other is that there is a clear leadership line, and you know who's in command, because there's lots of stuff to do, and there's lots of stuff that can go wrong. I will tell you that one of my reasons, and I'm kind of broaching on the presentation that I'll be doing in a second, one of my reasons for wanting to join the DXpedition to Bouvet is that I really like adventure. If you looked at my hobbies, I mean, there aren't a lot of guys that'll climb 100 to 500 foot tall antenna towers and hang hardline and antennas and so forth. So that's my risky part of ham radio. I'm a Harley rider, so there is a little bit of risk in that. Hopefully not too much. The other thing is, as was noted in the PR release, is that Bouvet is a lightning rod. It's a lightning rod for all sorts of stuff. It is literally the most remote, most rare island in the world for ham radio and DXpeditioning. I can't think of another DXpedition that is more difficult than what Bouvet is. Assuming we get through successfully, and we certainly will, I can tell you that I will join a group that numbers very, very small. Literally, there have been more men in outer space than have stepped on the island of Bouvet.
So let me just pause there for a minute, Bob. So if you guys are watching the screen here and watching the stream, you'll see Josh actually zooming in and out on this island a little bit and kind of give you a perspective of where this island is, and from Africa, from the tip of Africa, and then where Antarctica is. So it's about what do you call it, about halfway in between, Bob?
Yeah, I'd say roughly halfway in between. For those of you that speak latitude and longitude, the latitude is about 56 degrees south. The longitude is about 3 degrees west. So we're outside of the Arctic Circle, but there is absolutely no reason, ladies and gentlemen, to travel to Bouvet. And that's why it is the rarest and most remote island. So, Marv, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get into it.
I'm just going to bring this up on the screen real quick. That Pepe showed. Bob, you're some years older than I. I'm impressed that you prepare yourself for this long trip, through the tough seas. So, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very challenging from that perspective. And I think you're going to touch on that in just a minute here as part of your presentation. Yep. So, yeah.
So I've not used this particular studio approach, and I apologize if when I page up and page down, you can't see everything that I'd like for you to see, and it gets a little rocky.
Real quick, say, okay, Josh, if we make that big screen, I think that's going to be the better way to go with that. I was just going to ask you what your best perspective on that was. So, okay.
That looks like that's about the best we're going to be able to get it.
Okay. I was just wondering. I was playing with that. We tested this in the pre-show, and I was like, the best I could get it for screen size. And I just wanted to see if there's anything options, right? And know if there's something better, and I didn't. So, all right, thank you. Sorry about that.
That's fine. Well, this is a shot of Bouvet Island, and I will continue to show you some pictures. This is roughly where we think we'll be landing. I can tell you that, as I mentioned, the location of Bouvet, it's an island that is about 19 square miles in size. So if that were a square, it'd be about 4.5 miles by 4.5 miles. It is a volcanic island, 93% covered by a glacier, at least the last time anybody looked. And the weather on Bouvet can be a bit challenging. So, as you might have gotten a flavor from the press release that I read, money is important to this group right now because at $1.7 million budget, it will be the most expensive DXpedition ever. And not surprisingly, the majority of those expense dollars come from the ship and the helicopter that we'll use for transportation. So I would draw your attention to the 3yankee0kilo.com web address that's there. I'll tell you as I start and come into the presentation that everything that I will say tonight is true and accurate to the best of my knowledge. I will tell you that some of the things that I talk about will change. What's that all saying? The best battle plan never survives the first shot fired. And that's certainly the case with Bouvet. So this is another look at that same view. And you see right here, this tent, that is the site of the ill-fated 3 Yankee 0 Juliet DXpedition that happened in 2023. I mentioned that Bouvet has been a lightning rod, and there's not been a particularly good history of success in going there. The last DXpedition that was somewhat successful happened just after the turn of the millennia. Some of you, if you were licensed at the time, back in the 2017, 2018 range, may remember the 3 Yankee 0 Zulu expedition that sailed from South America to Bouvet, spent a week station keeping off the island, and never got on shore. The one thing that is critical about Bouvet is weather. Weather.
I'm going to give you a pause real quick. Folks, if you guys do have questions you want to ask of Bob, please post them in the chat. We'd love to hear you. We got several people watching and glad you're joining with us this evening, and continue to share out the link for this episode. I think it's really good what Bob's covering here. But if you got questions, please post them. We'd love to hear them. And, Bob's willing to answer those questions as well. So anyway, sorry about that, Bob.
No, not a problem. I just realized that I was talking from the website rather than the PowerPoint presentation. So here is a view looking out where that photo was last taken of the 3 Yankee.
A little bit, I think.
Pardon me?
Scroll up just a little bit on the screen. Can you scroll your screen up a little bit to see that a little bit more?
No.
Okay.
And I'll talk a little bit about that DXpedition as well as others. So as I anticipate talking to people, I like to try to know my audience well. At W9DXCC this year, I spent time with W0GJ, Glenn Johnson, probably one of the most prolific North American DXpeditioners, talking about Bouvet. And he said a couple of words that start with D, like dangerous and demeaning and defenseless. So with that as an overview, I would guess that you want to answer the questions like, so why do you want to go to Bouvet? And What in the heck makes you think that you'll be more successful than other groups? Why is the budget so great? What's our strategy and plan? What's the team been up to, and how can I help? So here's what the operating team looked like back at the beginning of the summer. And there is somewhere between 1 and 5 fellows that are pictured there that will not be going with us. And some of those circles.
I think you
have
might want to
been
scroll up a little bit if you can. We can't see
Yeah,
the.
we can't see that screen, Bob. So I don't know if you're on your PowerPoint. If you want to stop and reshare that PowerPoint.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
There's a question in the chat.
Yeah, what kind of tower are you going to erect? I think he'll get to that if there's any at all. But I think you'll discuss that in a few minutes, right, Bob?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. So that's the website still.
Yeah. So I'm going back. There we go.
I may have to stop screen sharing.
Stop screen.
Oh, there we go.
And we'll go back in and share screen. And what I want to share is the Bouvet presentation.
There we go. Oh, that's back to the website again.
Yeah. Well, why is that?
It's all right. It's all
Sorry,
good.
I'm a PowerPoint guy. I'm not a
Live
studio live stream guy.
I tell you what, there's this thing that we call Murphy's Law of live streaming.
Yeah.
And, it seems
If
to
it's
always
gonna
take
happen, it will.
effect.
Absolutely.
Bob, if you want to email me the PowerPoint, I can present from my side and let you just tell me to advance if you want.
It's pretty big to email.
Okay. Yeah, just try and click on PowerPoint again, see if that pulls up. We got a moment here we can try. So yeah, folks, thank you got several of you guys joining in here this evening. So we got a great crowd joining us. So thank you for joining us while Bob's getting that presentation put together again with getting it, presented for you. But yeah, I think, if you guys want to go out and visit 3yok.com, we'll give you a little bit more information about the Bouvet Island DXpedition. Oh, I think Bob's got that stage now. There's your Gmail account.
Yep, we'll get everything else off my desktop.
But yeah, if you guys got further questions, please share them out. So we'll post them as I can through here, and we will try and get all those questions answered this evening. I'm sure Bob will be doing plenty of those along the way. But
there, how's that?
I do not see anything yet. So yeah. I'm sure I'll come back in a minute here. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It's going to be one of the most expensive DXpeditions to date still. But hopefully this one will be well worth it, considering I'll call it, Bouvet Island 2.0 from several years ago, where, it had a lot of issues. So this one will hopefully be a lot better, because you're right. It is one of the most sought after DXpedition islands in the entire world. So I don't see nothing yet, Bob. So I'm not sure how many you guys just post in the chat. Let us know if you do you chase DXpeditions? Do you follow them? Do you ever pay attention like DX World? Do you follow some of these DXpeditions that go on? Has anybody been in the chat been on a DXpedition? So it's a good question too.
If I'll say, if you chase DXpeditions, put a 1 in the chat.
There you go.
That's just if you chase.
Yeah. I tell you what, there are I think 340 DX entities, and out of those 340, Bouvet is the 10th most wanted. So it's way up there on the list.
Hey, don't be stealing my thunder.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that was in your presentation. I'll shut up.
All right. Bob will get this Zoom thing up and running, because I'm excited to see this myself. I know he's presented it several times here. So let's see what we got here at stage. There we go. It's like no, that's your back screen, but
It's the infinite StreamYard.
there
Hey, there we go.
we go. Now we're going.
Okay. Beautiful.
Beginning. There we go. That's what we
Beautiful.
want to
That
see.
looks awesome.
Thank you.
So, as I started to say before, this view is the same thing that you saw, except that the ship was somewhere out here. If you can see my cursor moving around, looking, we as Americans think that north is always at the top of the map. So we're looking north, or currently looking south. We were looking north before, towards the island. This is the tent that in that DXpedition served all purposes, and you can kind of see a lot of what goes into the DXpedition here. You can see these roughly 35-gallon polypropylene drums, and those might contain anything from fresh water, dehydrated meals, equipment, human waste, etc. And space on Bouvet is at a premium because of the weather. The difficulty of getting on the island. You see a lot of tarps sitting around here, and the tents are sized on the upcoming DXpedition to fit just what we need, and I'll talk about that as we come. So I've talked about this. I've talked about the team. This will give you an idea of some of the metrics of the DXpedition. We have a planned departure of February 1st of 2026 from Cape Town. The DXpedition team is a worldwide team. We have people from all over Europe, from Russia, and from the U.S. So we're all planning to meet in Cape Town on or about January 29th or 30th. In my case, I'll hop on an airplane at Chicago's O'Hare Field on January 27th at 6:05 in the morning, fly to Newark, catch a direct flight out of Newark to Cape Town that'll leave in the evening around 7 o'clock, and I'll arrive in Cape Town the following day at 6 p.m. The plan is that once we leave Cape Town, the DXpedition will be in the neighborhood of 36 days long. It's about a week to sail from Cape Town to Bouvet and back. So a week each way, 13 to 15 days sailing. We'll be on or around the island for about 3 weeks to 23 days. And we're hopeful of being on shore about 14 of those 23 days. And, just a comment, you might say, well, how come you're not going to be there for 21 to 23 days? And I'll talk some more about that, but it's driven by weather and the difficulty of transport. This is the vessel. I don't know that it's actually going to be this particular vessel. This is one of two that a company called Ice Tugs, who is headquartered out of Iceland, has contracted with us to supply. They have extensive experience. They've done just about everything: camps, expeditions, rescues, cargo for resupplies, and so forth. And their primary experience is in Arctic-like conditions. A boat that's 300 feet long in the seas that we're going to be sailing will be very interesting. The other part of the expedition is a company called Ultimate Air, and what you see up here is one of two helicopters that they may supply. And you'll note that a couple of times in the presentation, I'll talk about may or probably will be, because both the ship and the aircraft is driven by their schedule and what will be available at that time. This is an Airbus single turbo engine helicopter, and we also have a backup that could be a twin blade helicopter.
Bob, real quick, does that helicopter going to be landing on and off the ship? And will that
Yes, sir.
travel from Cape Town on the ship with you, or
Yes.
does it fly down
Yes, it will be loaded the day before Sunday, February 1st, onto a helipad that will probably be here in the front of the ship.
there? Okay.
And we're still working out all of the logistics piece. I have been named sort of the Loadmaster Logistics Coordinator. We have, as I'll show you in a couple of minutes, we have a 20-foot container that contains all of our equipment, food, and supplies. That's shipping by ship to Cape Town from Norway. There's a cargo hold below deck. That's where it's going to be put.
Wow.
And we'll have, the good part about that is we'll have access to the container during the trip, so that we can start the unload and logistics process.
Wow.
So in the press release, you heard contracts talked about, and there's really five contracts that are in place. Functionally, there are three with ice tugs, with Ultimate Aviation, and then a company called Arctic Yachts, who is an expedition specialist and outfitter. And we've brought them on board for a couple of different reasons. And then as far as the team goes, there's a financial agreement with a private group, and we're taking 2 to 4 non-ham type adventurers. These are the kind of guys that, they're not Bill Gates, but they come close. And to put it in perspective, one of the guys, I don't know if any of you follow space missions. There was one this spring that was the first to orbit the Earth over the poles. And one of the guys on the private group was on board that spacecraft. Every team member signs an agreement in order to be brought onto the team. It covers just about everything you can imagine, from your responsibilities. There's a confidentiality clause in it, and it spells out how you will be responsible financially. So we're looking back at the camp where 3 Yankee 0 Juliet was. There's going to be 2 operating locations, one there, and again, we're looking south now. If this were live and you could turn around and look north, you would see that the geography of the island slopes upward to the north. Each operating position will have an operating tent that will house 6 operators and 6 complete stations. There will be a sleeping tent, and then a community tent where meals will be prepared. Those that aren't operating will have a place to gather there. We're also going to do a little bit of operating from there. One of the fellows from Europe is bringing a QO100 satellite setup, and that's going to be placed there. And then each operating location will have its own open air sanitary facility. Whoops. So this kind of looks like the graphic that Josh put up earlier, and overhead, and oriented for us crazy North Americans. Bottom is south, top is north, and we're going to land over in this corner, Camp Thea. And essentially that's a strip here that is unglaciated. This area here where it says NPI base is a Norwegian automated weather station. There is absolutely no reason to go there unless you're from that Norway group that has to come and service the weather station, and they haven't been there for the last 10 years. And again, this is the kind of the same view that we saw opening. Here's where our lower camp is going to be, which is where 3Y0J is. Here's where the upper camp is going to be. And
so I see you have different call signs for both of those, so they'll be considered
no,
two different.
No, the only reason that it says 3Y0J is to identify that that's where the last expedition started from.
Okay, gotcha.
3Y0K exclusively.
Gotcha.
But you can begin to appreciate from this view, there is no beach, and everything that's not covered with ice is rock. This is a volcanic island. Basalt and other types of rock. Then the rock size will range from roughly what we'd call 1.5 inch crusher run type rock to rocks like this bad boy right here. That's probably a little bit bigger than a Volkswagen.
Wow. So
no
you're going to
soil.
I mean, you actually have quite a hill to climb there to get up on both
Yep.
of those.
Yep. So, a little bit of history. This is what it looked like in 24 from a passing ship. And it's usually not going to be nice and bright and sunny like this. We expect 90% of the time for it to look like that. I can tell you that the weather on Bouvet in February will be a balmy 32 to 34 degrees. The relative humidity will be 95%. Winds will blow, when it's calm on Bouvet, it'll be about 25 miles an hour. If there's a storm moving in or moving out, that will increase the winds to around 40 to 45 miles an hour. And if it's a really kick-butt storm, we'll have 50 to 80 mile an hour winds. So imagine landing with a tent. I'm just going to go back and give you a look at what that's like that, and having to erect that in a minimum of 25 mile an hour winds. That's going to be one heck of a sail.
Yeah.
So what's the plan strategy? And again, we want to show you everything in context. The lower 3 Yankee 0 Juliet location will be sort of rest of world. It will have the best of the antennas that we're bringing. So a 27 meter high, 160 vertical, 4 squares on 40 and 80, some monoband Yagis. There will be a focus on low band, high power. And that's where the satellite setup is going to be.
So if you're going into all rock, how are you holding those antennas in place? I mean, just having
that's a great question, because imagine having kind of a pile of compacted gravel and trying to anchor something in that. That's
exactly
what the island is like. So in our tool set, we're bringing 2 rotary hammer drills, and we will drill into the larger rocks. And one of the team members has constructed anchors out of stuff that looks like rebar, and they're roughly shaped like a pea. And the descender on the pea will get pounded into that hole that we drill in the rock. And the ring of the pea is where we will tie off all of the ropes.
Interesting. Okay.
That will be antenna supports, and you can
Can I-
kind of see that here around the tent, like right in this area. There's some stuff that's drilled in. There's rocks piled around the apron here of the tent.
Okay.
Can I throw just a quick one at you?
Yeah.
You keep referencing the 3Y0 Juliet expedition. Did they leave any equipment behind? He says a failed expedition. Did they have to leave any equipment behind? And if so, will you be recovering any of that? Or did they pack all that out with them when they left?
Can you give me?
The quick question was from Andy was they had to leave, and did they leave any equipment behind? And will you recover any of that equipment or have access to any of that equipment while you're there?
Sure. Great question. Bouvet is a national treasure for Norway. I have a tough time believing that it's a treasure, but it is that. And it is the equivalent of one of our federal wilderness park areas. The only life that's there are seals, sea lions, and penguins. There are no other birds, and there's no other type of animal. As such, everything that we bring on to the island has to come off of the island. There's nothing left there from 3Y0J, and literally, we will not be making any yellow snow while we're on the island. Everything comes off.
Wow.
The equipment that was used on 3Y0J has all been reclaimed, dispersed, returned, etc. I talked at the onset a little bit about the difficulty, and for those of you that aren't up on 3 Yankee 0 Juliet, one of the things that I'll say, I talked about the winds, and there's a lot of open sea to the east of Bouvet, like all the way to the tip of South America. So those waves in that kind of wind have an opportunity to build up to be pretty large. We're expecting in stormy conditions, pre-storm, post-storm, the waves will be 10 feet-ish. If we sail through a storm to get to the island, they could be 20 to 50 feet tall, depending on the severity of the storm. There's a reef formation around the island, and if you know what happens with a reef, the waves hit it and it gets even more turbulent. So 3 Yankee 0 Juliet set up offshore, set their boat up offshore. They tried to land with Zodiac rafts. Some of those got overturned, and it was not a reliable method of putting men and equipment on shore. You remember earlier I talked about the expedition company that we had hired, and they're there for a number of reasons, one of which is to help us safely get onto the island. And in 2023, Peter, who's the principal of the Arctic Yacht Group, hopped into a Zodiac off of the ship, got into just about where the reef started, dropped a buoy, and made it on shore, pulling a half-inch type nylon line and securing it on the beach. Everybody that landed on that island got into environmental dry suits and hopped into the water and essentially swam and pulled their way along that guideline.
Wow.
All all of the baggage, if you want to call it that, the personal gear, was stowed in waterproof duffel bags, and everything that you see in front of you here in this shot was floated in. In the case of the red Honda generator that you see, it was in what they call a Hypalon bag. Hypalon is a synthetic rubberized fabric that you would see used in racing sails. So, a lot of people were disappointed with that DXpedition. And as a DXpeditioner, I will tell you, for us, it's all about rate, and rate. The objective is to make the greatest number of QSOs possible, and hopefully hand out all-time new ones to hams that need it. So, given the limited amount of equipment and antennas that they were able to bring onto the island, in my mind, they did okay. And to the naysayers, I would say, pony up your own money and go there. So the upper camp will look a lot like the lower camp, except the antennas will be a little bit different. Single element verticals. We'll have some monobanders and some duo banders. And the masts that we use to support the antennas in the northern camp will be just a little bit taller. Each location will have 2 full power amplifiers, and the rest will be 500 watt type amplifiers. And the expectation is that we will have propagation allowing. We'll have 6 radios on from each operation, and we will have 2 to 3 signals out per band, and we'll be operating multi-band. So the equipment that we're taking, hats off to ICOM. They supplied us with a dozen 7610 radios. ACOM supplied the amplifiers. We've purchased 10 Honda EU30IS generators. Those are 3,000 watt generators, and everything on the island will be the European 240 volt standard. We have an ICOM 9700 and a Heberling to do QO100 and other satellite operations. The Yagi antennas from 10 through 20 were hand fabricated. They're beefed up versions of what is used in the WRTC competition, designed to handle the wind that we're going to be seeing. And the 80 and 40 meter four squares and the low band verticals are all essentially spider beam type poles, appropriately rigged. So the concerns, what would concern you going on this thing? And I've hit it a couple of times: weather, and weather. It's tough to get on the island, and that's why the plan A, and yes, there's a plan B, a plan C, and likely a plan D. But plan A has us landing on the island with the helicopter. To put it in perspective, to load a Zodiac at the ship, have it make its way onto shore, unload it, and get it back takes about 2 hours. We expect to be able to turn a round trip with the helicopters in 15 to 20 minutes. So that's the driver for the cost associated with that. It's not that we don't want to swim, although I've got to say that's a really, really risky thing. How many of you would want to dive into 28-degree water?
I think the biggest question for using the helicopter is going to be the weather status and the wind at the time, right? I mean, whether you can actually deploy that or not.
Yep, that is an issue, and the weather patterns on Bouvet are such that I'll say a new storm rolls in every 2 to 3. There is a calm before the storm, and there is a calm after the storm. Those calm periods can be between 2 and 8 hours. So it's not like we're just going to park the ship offshore and right away we're going to be able to start landing on the island. Thought I was going to sneeze. The first thing that will happen when the helicopter can fly is we'll put up 4 or 5 men in the helicopter, circle the island, hover fairly low, and do a survey to make sure that the area that we think we're going to operate in is actually where we're going to operate. And I've been named the Loadmaster logistics coordinator for getting the gear on and offshore. A 20-foot container holds a lot of stuff, and the task essentially is to move the right equipment in the priority order that is needed onto the island in as short a time as possible. So we'll pre-build loads and so forth. And the first stuff that'll come on will be what you need for survival, shelter, food, and water. If anyone's wondering, no, there isn't any heat. We don't have anything that is combustible, and we won't be running the power and using a significant amount of fuel to heat any of the tents. The second concern is remoteness, and there are a couple of issues there. It's in the middle of nowhere. There is no white knight on the horizon. If somebody gets injured, has a heart attack, whatever, it's up to our group to deal with that. And the bias, obviously, is going to be to stay there the full time, given what's been spent. The other element of remoteness is, even though I'm going to be there with 20 or more of my soon-to-be best friends, it's damned remote. Imagine being away from your home, your family, your wife, your job, all the things that are routine to you and that you value, and it will be all different. We will have Starlink internet service, but there isn't going to be a lot of time for us to be emailing and chatting with friends and family. And of course, the last concern is propagation, and that's something that we don't control. We'll just have to make the best of. Oops, there we go. This slide is not intended for you to read, just to give you an idea of some of the issues and preparedness for the expedition. I've talked about communication, equipment, and supplies. I mean, our meals will be the finest gourmet MREs that are known to man. They all originate from Norway. In the May workshop, when I was in Oslo, we each got to sample those. My meal was reindeer stew. And I will say the good news is that it will keep you alive. The bad news is it will keep you alive. It doesn't taste like anything. You guys that have been in the military, I'm sure, are just chuckling now.
Now, my question is,
Anybody that's eating an MRE knows what you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely. My dad would go to National Guard camp, bring a whole box of them home because they were so terrible. But we as kids loved them.
The big question I have is, we're getting pretty close to Christmas. How would Santa feel about eating reindeer?
Well, I will say, I've been to Oslo twice. There have been 3 team workshops in Oslo. I didn't go to the last one because it was the same weekend as W9 DXCC, and I thought it would be poor form as chairman to not be there. But I speak from experience, and those were great sessions. I will say that the diet, the range of things that you eat in Norway is different than what we eat here. The first workshop, we went to a genuine Norwegian restaurant, and I had what is called a Taste of Norway, and that was comprised of reindeer, moose, and whale, and not your average fare. So my hope is that Santa will excuse us. So what's the budget? And what's all this talk about $1.7 million? Well, you can see the vessel, helicopter, and the expedition group is about $1.5 million of $1.7 million. The equipment and logistics, about $180K. And when I say equipment, that's not radios, that's not antennas, and that's not amplifiers. That's all the ancillary equipment. So, coax and masts and wire, tables and chairs to go in the operating area, and so forth. And the logistics contract isn't very big for the Arctic Expedition Group, but the freight is not trivial to ship a 20-foot container. There's $50K allocated for contingencies. We have to buy some stuff in Cape Town that couldn't be shipped, and stuff happens. So as a result, there will be, I'm sure, some unbudgeted expenses. The leadership team for this group and the expanded leadership team is also planning to travel to Peter 1 in 2027. And we looked at the possible synergies in terms of equipment and so forth that can be shared. And we essentially have moved $30,000 of cost out and onto the Peter 1 budget because they'll be using that equipment. We'll have paid for it, so we're kind of cost sharing back and forth. So a total of 1.7, and I can tell you, the vessel and the helicopter pricing is fixed, but everything else that you see here will be somewhat variable. So our supporters, I just can't say enough about NCDXF, the Northern California DX Foundation. They started us out with a $100,000 seed grant that was had no strings attached, and then they followed up with a $100,000 grant that was aimed at non-North American contributors. And the deal was that that $100,000 grant is matching funds. So every $100 that somebody gives gets matched. Sadly, and those of you that are DXpeditioners or DXers will smile when I say North America usually pays the preponderance of the costs. We're only at about 50% of that right now, and we're hoping to build. The private group, a significant percentage of the budget, and then we have some corporate sponsors. So here you see the foundations that have given us some money. These are the equipment sponsors. RF Power pulled out in the Dayton timeframe, and ACOM stepped up. DX Engineering, as always, has donated the preponderance of the equipment, coax, and so forth that we'll be using. This will give you an idea of some other corporate sponsors, DX World and Daily DX from the DX Bulletin perspective, as well as Echo Alpha 1 Charlie Sugar. SQ1K, Bart runs an embroidery business, and he is the one that's authorized to do the teamwear, so shirts and hats and so forth. And Spider Beam has given and sold at a discount a number of their poles. Post the workshop that was held in Oslo over our Labor Day weekend, which was the last one that I went to, the team made a decision that we had to fill in with some ancillary antennas for a variety of reasons. And some of those will be wires. Wimo, a large supplier in Europe, has donated some monoband beam antennas. So what the heck's the team been doing? This is a shot from the September workshop in mid-September. You can see the 20-foot container that I'm talking about. And you'll note that it's a little unusual in that you got a side open. So it has doors on one side and doors on one end. The workshops that I've mentioned a couple of times are all focused on getting all of the equipment, getting it all loaded properly in the container so that it won't shift around, and it'll be in decent shape when we actually get to Bouvet, and it will be fairly accessible. So just to give you an idea, looking at this container, these plywood and 2x4 framed deals are generators. The plywood part is actually holds the generator in its Hypalon bag. The 2x4 frame that I constructed for all provides support so that we can pile these guys up on top. Lots of blue containers. And again, those typically are containing ancillary equipment and the MREs. The first workshop, we had all the MREs there, and we had a team that took the MREs and assort packed those into drums so that we didn't have to eat reindeer stew for dinner for a whole week and so forth. And I'm told we have 6 delicious selections.
So does like your radios and all that get stored in those containers as well?
Yes, sir. You see right here where this orange strap is, those are Pelican cases, and there are probably 24 of those from this size, which is relatively small. These are radios. So each one of those contains a 7610 and a computer that will have the logging software and networking software on it, and the ancillary data and jumper cables to connect to the amplifiers. The amplifiers are all stored kind of in this general area, and there's more of these guys behind this this stack of blue drums. And then on top of all of that are and behind that are a couple of things. The masts, the heavy duty masts that we will use, those were custom constructed in Italy. They look sort of like a crank up tower, but it's made out of square tube. And they'll be about probably 12 to maybe 14 meters tall when they're extended. Then on top of that are the ski bags that contain Yagi antennas, the tents. This area over here, you can see some tables. There's chairs stacked over here, and there's an couple of containers worth of emergency equipment that will be used on the island. So we spent time inspecting, testing, and training. We all have training on how to put tents up in the wind and how to run the kitchen. We're using Olympia paraffin stoves and induction heaters to heat the water that will make the MREs, and we've tested all of that and done the training.
Do you guys have to go through and hook up all the radios, the amplifiers, and test all that too, and everything as well?
Yep.
All that gets tested. Okay.
Yep. And then some of the team has been constructing accessories to take along. I talked about the guy anchors earlier. We
Right.
also have the equivalent of AC, what we would call AC line filters. And yours truly constructed all of those and brought them over in May so that any noise generated by the generator won't create non-receive situations.
I may have
And
to
then-
talk to you about that. I may need one for my champion generator.
And then of course, the last thing is to inventory, weigh, and pack everything, and that's what happened in over Labor Day weekend and in mid-September. The container was sealed while I was at W9DXCC. It was picked up the following week, and it's on its way. So the overall, logistics plan. I talked a little bit about the leadership team, and the leadership team, or the main guy of the leadership team, is Ken Opskar, LA7GIA, and he lives in the Oslo, Norway area. He was also, and the question was asked before, so why do I keep talking about 3 Yankee 0 Juliet? And that was the answer is that was the last expedition, the most recent expedition that was there. And the leadership group of that expedition fundamentally is 3/4 of our leadership group. Both Ken, Cesar from Canada, and Adrian from the US were all on that DXpedition. So you can see the inflows from Bulgaria and Italy, the antennas that I talked about, and the masts. The ICOM equipment and the ACOM equipment came over from the US, along with some miscellaneous stuff. So that container that I said that was shipped is probably right about here right now, and it's got to make it down to Cape Town by December.
Wow.
We will fly in from our various locations, and we'll be there for 2 days prior to sailing to load the container, acquire some other stuff that we need, etc. There will also be the better part of a day of training, safety training for the trip on the ship, and the emergency suits that we may have to wear if there's anything that goes south. And as I talked about before, February 1st, we go down to Bouvet. The end of February, early March, we come back into Cape Town, and the preponderance of the team will be leaving Cape Town on either March 9th or 10th.
So it's one of those things you mentioned earlier that you're going to be down there in March, and you kind of gave some temperatures and some of the winds and stuff like that. And I don't know if people realize, but that is like their summer. That's best.
Their summer.
That is their
That's
summer. That is the best you're going to get for your temperatures and your winds coming through and storms and stuff. So yeah, I mean you're going at the best optimal time of year in that area, and it's still very dangerous and maybe I don't know if I call it death defying, but it could be.
Well, the reality is, and I kind of touched on it. There's no white knight. There's nobody that can fly a medevac in.
Yeah, Coast Guard is not going to save you.
The Navy is not going to come and pick us up off the island, and so forth. And there's probably a 5% chance individually that you may not make it back alive. because there is that degree of danger. We're not going to be on any of the glaciers for two reasons. We're strongly discouraged from doing that from the permitting people, and the glaciers are dangerous. There are huge crevasses, and if you slide down one of those babies, it's going to be darn tough to get you out.
Yeah, you're gonna put your head between your legs and kiss your butt goodbye, because
That's about it.
You're gonna go right into that water, and you're not gonna survive long. Not 28 degrees or colder.
So at the close of the DXpedition, that container will be repacked. While we're on the ship, we'll have to take all of the outdoor equipment, the antennas, the masts, coax, all of the stuff out of the container. We'll be laying that out on the ship, and we'll be rinsing it down to get the salt off of it that will have been deposited there by the salt water atmosphere blowing the sea into place. Then it'll all get loaded back, and according to this red line, it's going to come back into Texas, and there everything will get pulled out and inspected again. Anything that is reconditionable and needs it, it'll be done, and then it'll get repacked for shipment next fall along this red line down. This shows like we're going to the Falkland Islands. We're not. That was one of the possibilities for departure for Peter 1, but we're actually going to the tip of South America, and then we'll sail down to Peter 1. At the end of the Peter 1 DXpedition, that container will come back to Norway, and the members will go back to South America to go home. The team has purchased that container. We own it. And as Americans, we sometimes get upset with our government about taxes and so forth. For those of you that haven't been to Europe, you ain't seen nothing yet. They have a value-added tax on everything that gets imported. So that's about 30% of the value.
Wow.
So we have paid that on everything that came into Norway. It's budgeted, and when the stuff shipped out of Norway, we applied to get those taxes back. But ultimately, if that container and the equipment doesn't come back into Norway, financially, there's going to be some issues. So just a little bit about Peter 1, kind of the same plan. This is what Peter 1 looks like, and you don't see any open area. It's all hard pack and glacier, which is what makes getting on the island a little more difficult. And you can see the thickness of that snow and ice, as well as the sheer faces, and that's what drives us to use helicopters there. Actually, the landing conditions are a little bit better in terms of the sea. Not much, but a little bit.
I was going to say, I mean, if you can't use a helicopter because of weather to even get on the island or whatever, I mean, trying to climb up that, I mean, it's, how do you even get past all that snowpack? I mean, we're about falling off and everything else as you're trying to get onto the island, you know?
It's not for the faint of heart.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
there is a plan, and that again is where the expedition guide group, there's going to be two fellows, Peter and another guy that I met in August, September. Peter is a real true expeditioner, and his partner plays around climbing on ice and climbing mountains.
Wow.
So they will provide the equipment and the engineering to get us on should the helicopters not work. You'll notice I've said helicopters because as a condition of our landing permit, we have to take 2. And that's why the budget for this one is essentially $1.9 million.
Wow.
Same general number of operators. The same private group is also planning on going with us to Peter 1. That's actually where they want to go. Bouvet is kind of a trial run for them. So that private group is pretty important to us.
Absolutely. Wow.
So by way of wrap up, I warned you at the beginning, it's all about money and rate. And I would love it if either as your local clubs or you as individuals would make some donation to us. Go on to 3yankee0kilo.com. You can donate via PayPal or there's a secure credit card app. So with that, that's what I had to talk about tonight. But now to the most exciting part. Those of you that want to ask questions, fire away.
Well, let me just say this before we get any questions in the chat, which I think we already have a few. But
We do have a few.
Bob, I really appreciate you coming on. This has been a fascinating presentation, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. I've got all my HF equipment in storage right now. Hopefully, by the time this happens, I can pull it out and we can try to make contact.
Hopefully not. You can use my remote station if we can. And
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Hey,
But,
We might do that on a stream one night.
Oh, that'd be cool.
We could do that one night. But
Hey, Josh, your audio is just a little high, and you're clipping a little bit on the audio there. Just
I'm probably eating the mic, but I do want to say if we do receive any super chats tonight, I will be forwarding those, at least the proceeds for them, less the YouTube fees, directly to this team. So if you feel the need to do that, please do. I will forward those to the team. But however, I still would suggest you follow the way Bob just recommended a minute ago to donate directly to the team. And yeah, they could use your help, guys. So
Yep.
be generous.
Every little bit helps.
Absolutely.
And I will offer Josh and Marv and the balance of the leadership group for Ham TV. If you're interested in a program after we get back, I'd be happy to do that.
Absolutely.
for sure.
a debrief would be awesome.
That would be great.
I probably won't be able to tell all of the stories because this is a family TV event.
We are a family show, as they say in the business.
I will say, for those of you that are wondering, there will be no tobacco and no alcohol on the island.
Really interesting. Is that part of the protection of the island?
That's part of the contract and part of the arrangement that was made with the Norwegian group that has governance of the island.
Right.
Well, that makes plenty of sense. I mean, if you had somebody smoking cigarettes, you're going to get butts all over that island. So it's very good and environmentally friendly to take.
Well, plus
sure.
if you're in what's essentially the operating tent is an 8-man tent. That's what it's designed to be.
No one wants to smell the smoke either.
But we're going to have operating tables that are about, I don't know, maybe 2.5 by 4, something like that. And they'll be arranged in a ring around the walls of the tent. And the last thing you want to do in a space that size is have some guy putting tobacco smoke in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
sure.
Bob, I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Number one, do you have a list of current team members that you'd like to share, or like how big is that team? How many members do you have?
The plan is to have 24 team members, plus the 2 to 4 private group, plus the 2-man in the expedition area. Because of the happenings that I detailed at the beginning, we are at least one person short, and there could be as many as 4 more that opt not to go. The website currently has pictures of everyone that we were planning to go along with as of the end of the summer, except for Crassy. And when we find out about the other 4 operators, whether they're going to join us or whether they're going to leave, their photos will come down. And I guess, that leads me to say, obviously we were 1 person short before, and we're going to be more people short now. So if any of you all are interested, after I've made it look so appealing, and you want to go on the DXpedition, get in touch with me. We'll talk a little bit more, and I'll send you on to Cesar, who's the leadership person that's tasked with vetting new members.
I got the perfect guy for you. His name's Dave. His call sign is KE6.
I figured Andy wanted to go on it. That's why he was asking.
That's
So my other question is, so of course I work for a World Radio League logging software, but I am very curious as to what your logging setup is like. What are you using? What software are you using? And how's that? Are you streaming contacts live to the internet so people can get those confirmations immediately? How are you doing?
Great questions. To the best of my knowledge, we will be using N1MM, and each computer at each station, I believe, will be networked or linked. What I don't know, and is still up for discussion, is are we going to live stream that, or are we going to periodically upload that? I will say my clear preference, having been on the expedition side of the pileup, would be that we live stream, because it gives you instant gratification. You get all the guys that normally would make half a dozen insurance contacts, and at least the responsible ones won't do that.
Yeah.
However, we got 20 to 24 operators, 12 at the max in each location. We have 6 stations to run, and we're going to run 24/7. So that'll give you an idea of the demand on resources. I expect that there will be an operating schedule, and in the past expeditions that I've been on, your shift is 3, 4, or 5 hours on, and then a similar period of time off, and then a different period of time on, and so forth. So that has the effect of allowing each operator to rotate around the clock and experience different propagation.
Absolutely.
It also gives you time to do things other than operating. One of my other assignments is I'm a generator master, and I will oversee the generators in whatever camp that I'm in. So that will include fueling. It will include oil changes at I think the service interval is about 100 hours or so. And of course, any troubleshooting and so forth. Plus, we'll all have tasks that may be boiling the water for the MREs, or swabbing the toilets, or whatever. But so I lay all that out for you only to say that we've got some really smart guys coming on this trip. Adrian and Max, for example, great networking guys. But they're going to be critical as operators and in other areas. And
Yeah.
As you probably know, it's guaranteed that if you're trying to live stream, you're going to have computers that aren't syncing and uploading. The being in or near Antarctica, that's about as far south as Starlink can service. So the internet might be real reliable, or not real reliable.
Yeah, very minimum, absolutely.
So
I've actually worked with Max before. He's a really great guy. You know,
he's a great guy.
Definitely a smart one. So, but yeah, this is as you're talking here, I was just thinking we have some opportunities with World Radio League that I could see really helping in these kind of circumstances. You know, coming up towards the end of the year, maybe Marvin can shoot you my email or me your email, and we can get in touch, you know, later on, because there's actually some opportunities with our logging platform that are going to be coming up around, you know, the end of the year. And I'm sure this expedition might you know, your logging system is probably already set in stone, but looking forward to like the Peter 1 and everything, there might be some potential there where we could, you know, work together on something to help you guys out. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
The only and I will say, the only downside to that, and part of the reason that N1MM is chosen, is everybody knows N1MM.
Yeah.
Oh,
very
yeah.
common platform for logging, for sure.
I get it.
But there could be time to reschool too. I'm not so old that I can't learn a few new tricks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let me just show a few comments
we'll email
here.
offline and we can chat about it for sure.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me just show a few comments here that people, some questions and stuff that people have had. But one, someone wrote the helicopters are killing ham radio. I thought it was kind of funny, but it's all good. Yeah, 1.8 million to do the DXpedition for Peter 1, which will be very interesting to see that as well. So, and are you going to be a part of that one too, Bob?
Yes, currently.
Okay.
I signed up. I think I mentioned earlier, my involvement started about a year ago. Actually, at and after W9DXCC, I drove Adrian to O'Hare from Naperville, and that's what got it started. After Cesar vetted me, and I was joined the team, he gave me the "Would you like fries with that?" speech, and said, "Geez, you know, you can reserve a spot on Peter 1 for only $1,000, and obviously, it's going to be more than that." So yes, I picked it, and as of today, I'm still planning on going.
So I want to show this comment first, and I have a question for you. So Peter John AC8XU said, "I'll go." So I want you to tell me a little bit, because me and you've had some personal conversations back and forth, because you were, again, my tower builder this fall, and you kind of gave me a number if you're willing to share it. What is your dollar value that you have personally invested in this to be able to make this trip happen for you in this DXpedition?
Great question, and I'm happy to answer that.
Just so people have an idea, like it's not just, hey, I can hop on and go. I need to, you know, maybe buy my own ticket or anything. There's a whole lot more to behind that.
I think for Bouvet only, by the time I'm done, I will have invested somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000. And
I think I'm going to make a few faces smile. Andy, he's like, "Whoa, wow!"
That's comprised of the buy-in, and typically the finance plan for a DXpedition is that the operators cover about half of the cost, and the other half is covered by donations. So the buy-in for the operator fee was initially $18,000 for the expedition. In the summer, when we recognized that there were some cash flow or cash influx shortfalls, each operator was required to pay an additional $3,000. And that was no surprise. It was in the contract. So nobody, other than grabbing their right butt cheek where their wallet was, because it hurt a little bit, nobody complained, and 100% of the operators paid that. Then additionally, there was a request that was not mandatory, that everyone, in addition to the $3,000, pay another $4,000, which may or may not be refunded when we close the book on Bouvet. And largely that'll happen if there's any excess funds from OQRS and QSLs and so forth. But I can tell you, from my perspective, I paid an extra $7,000. I don't expect to see a penny of it back.
Right. So, John, just re-asking the question, I just want to know if you still want to go on that trip. There was one other question. I didn't scroll back far enough earlier, and Josh, thank you. I think you mentioned that Pepe had, who we got some people that watch from over in Europe as well. And I think we may have answered this question, but he goes, "What has the team learned from former Bouvet expeditions, and how he succeeded in landing on the island with this regulatory bad weather and rough sea?" So
Yep.
I don't know if Pepe, I guess if you felt like your question was answered, please let us know. But I think Bob kind of covered that earlier, but I'll make sure to.
I didn't hear that response. So Marv, tell me what you want me to do.
I guess, yeah, just answer the question if you want to go through that highlight real quick.
Sure.
What has the team learned from former Bouvet expeditions, and how will you succeed in landing on the island?
Yep. Well,
rough seas.
What we've learned from former DXpeditions goes back at least to the 3 Yankee 0 Zulu expedition. I had 6 really close friends that were on that expedition. And so one of the things that, I don't know whether the leadership team learned it, but I learned it to ask the question, was the major reason why that DXpedition failed and they never put men on the island was multifold. The ship that they hired was a death trap. They experienced fires twice, and ultimately one of those took a complete drive line, engine, transmission, drive shaft, and prop offline.
Wow.
And the second thing was that they, although I don't know that it's been published, from what I've heard, they recognized that the helicopters, they had 2, were too small to land on the island. And because of that, they were trying to do it with Zodiacs. And they spent 6 or 7 days around the island waiting for the supposed calm or lessening. I think with the 3 Yankee 0 Juliet expedition, that taught the group a lot more about landing and the necessity of having a plan A and then multiple contingency plans, both to land on the island, but also to evacuate the island, to exit the island. And it could be an exit or it could be an evacuation, depending on weather conditions.
Absolutely.
So what is different in this team, again, to put it in perspective, the ship that we have, the Argus, or its sister, I mean, it's a 300-foot long icebreaker. It's not a converted fishing boat. It's robust. It has the size and the capacity to make the trip.
Yeah, that's a huge boat for sure.
The helicopters that we're taking, whether it's the Eurocopter that I showed you a picture of, or whether it's a Bell helicopter, which looks kind of like a Huey, those are our two possible items supplied. So we're not flying in a more sport type helicopter and depending on that.
No.
So those are two of the biggest lessons. 3YU0J, for cost considerations, traveled to the island from South America on a 65-foot two-masted sailing ship. The crew was small, and that meant that the team members actually stood watch and steered the ship in the night. So that was the other thing that was looked at, was the robustness of the human capital resources.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's awesome. So, I mean, yeah, you guys have definitely stepped up the game for this one, and hopefully it'll be very successful. I mean, we're going to wish you the best from this. Another couple more comments I want to be able to share here. We are kind of coming to the top of our 2 hours here, just 15 more minutes. But Colin in VK, not a free holiday. No, it's not a free holiday. It is definitely some serious involvement and some cost associated with that for sure. So
yeah, I guess my comment there is, a lot of people have the misguided notion that this is a vacation and we quote unquote make money by going.
Right. Not at all the case.
Neither. I mean, to put it frankly, it's going to be really shitty while I'm there.
Right. That's funny. Another good comment from John. How much can I get for a kidney? I'll pay for the trip so he can go.
I saw one of the other comments that he has a 5% chance of not needing it anyway. So
right. And then ham radio with KEOMAD. Now that's what I call an adventure. Absolutely. This is going to be adventure. And and I think I was referring back to earlier when they were talking about using the Zodiacs to go, from the boat to the island on 3YOJ the first time. But still, either way, it is certainly an adventure, and risky and everything else along the way. So, and then final comment from Pepe again here. Thanks, Bob. You guys are well prepared. I wish good weather and good luck, and come safely home with a lot of memories to share with us. Absolutely. So we hope that will be a good positive outcome for Bouvet this time, and that you guys have really thought this through as a expedition to be able to make sure that it's successful in this case, and with the amount of money being spent on it. And it's not just your money, it's other people who've donated to this as well. They want that to be successful, so, and hopefully
absolutely.
So yep. And he says looking forward to the DXpedition KH2XX. So I think we all will be. I think we'll all be looking forward to that, to see how it turns out and what happens along with others. So Bob, DXCC, does a little bit of contribution. I know there's some other DX groups out there that also help contribute to this. And again, if you just want to give us a little information how, if somebody wants to help contribute to help make this successful, and whether it's $10 or $100, or if they've got 10,000 they want to donate towards this. Again, what's one of the best ways they can go about doing that besides just visiting 3YO?
That's absolutely the best way. I've been at ham fests or ham conventions this year, and that started at Hamcation in February, and I was there to kind of promote a little bit, and then Visalia and Dayton, and I've been to a number of club meetings personally, and what I will say is, please don't send money, because our bank is in Norway and cash and checks are somewhat problematic to handle. And for record keeping and ease of contributions for anybody that wants to, the two links that are on the opening page of 3y0k.com are absolutely the best way. We track all of the contributions. We're not in real time, but we also have them, the call sign identified with the contribution gets posted on our website, and we have brackets of 0 to 49, 50 to 99, 100 to 249, 250 to 499, and up. And as Marv, as you said, every little bit helps. $10 probably isn't going to move the needle very much, but
Right.
it's $10 more than we had. For a while, I was going to the ham fests with T-shirts, and I used to joke with the guys that came by and say, "This is the most expensive T-shirt you will buy." And for $100, we'd give you a T-shirt. We're out of those. We're probably not going to go back and order more. You'd have to consult the website. I know there is a level of contribution from an individual at which you get an early QSL sent. You don't have to pay OQRS. I can't tell you what it is. My head's too full.
Yeah, if you just go click on sponsors on the top, there's you can see the corporate sponsors, club and association sponsors, Index, German DX Foundation, and then there's like the club supporters, $500 to $1,000 or $999, club supporter $250 to $499, other club supporters $100 to $249, and then individual donors, $1,000 of platinum or club gold, club silver, club bronze and stuff. So people donating, $100 to $249. So you get your name on that list, and then introductory supporters. Now, I know with other past DXpeditions, people who have donated, I guess I want to cover this just briefly. Other people who have donated to the DXpedition in advance like this does sometimes get a preferential heads up on their QRZ contact confirmation and things like that. Anything along those lines that may be an incentive for someone to share as well, possibly.
I don't know that we're going to be doing anything in terms of, let's call it an outbound briefing for donors. The operating plan will be out there, frequencies, etc. One of the groups that I spoke to, the question was asked, so what are your tips? Probably, and these won't be new to any of the guys that regularly chase DX. I would say God gave you one mouth and two ears, that you use them in that proportion. And listen, and listen. Probably, one of your best sources of information, I think, will be to nose around the FT8 frequencies, because you'll see if there's any copy of Bouvet, and you'll see what regions are copying Bouvet and who are we working. So that can be a guideline for you. I would say also use PSK Reporter, because you can search over the last 1 to 24 hours as to when we've been heard and where we've been heard. I didn't talk at all about the pilots, but we have pilots on every continent, and follow the pilots' communication. They will know what's going on. you can provide them feedback saying, hey, we heard you guys really well, really strongly at 1800 on 15 meters. Try to spend some more time there. And that's also the pilots will also be, I don't want to say telling people, but giving you and us some guidelines on what modes we should be on and when.
Very cool.
This team is committed to a balanced mode structure. If you look, FT8 is the most popular mode in the world right now. More than 50% of people work FT8. Contacts are made. That's per club log. You can go in and look at it. I, for one, hate FT8. It's boring, and it tests my ability to multitask and stay awake. However, I'm a DXer, and I go where the DX is, and that's where the DX is. But we're committed to the human modes. People have also asked, as was asked before, about the logging program. What are you going to use for digital? And I will say it's probably not going to be MSHV, which is most popular in Europe. The reason for that is that MSHV has the capability of set it and forget it and making automatic contacts unattended online. And some programs, award programs, will not recognize that. POTA and IOTA, for one. And we are accepted by all of those other award programs besides W9DXCC, and we're committed to have a human making every contact.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Real quick, I want to get Josh in here just for a moment. I know he's kind of need to drop. Probably should have dropped a while back if you're going to be up at the airport at the gate by 5 o'clock. But I just wanted to see if you have any last final words, Josh, before we kind of wrap this up a little bit too.
Well, I can't thank Bob enough for coming on, and I cannot wait for this to happen. And I cannot wait. I don't know why I'm looking at the monitor. I didn't look at the camera. I cannot wait for you to come back here in March. I guess it is March, April, something like that. Whenever we can work it out and tell stories. Of course, some of those stories won't be airable. I might get demonetized for that, but I can't wait to hear the stories and that kind of thing. And then the other thing, Marvin is spot on. These guys had a great idea. I think we will do during this DXpedition, we should definitely do a stream and make contact with you guys. That just sounds like a lot of fun. So we'll be working out the logistics for that. But
Bob, you climb a tower and put up a.
Are we all going to be fighting over Marvin's flex?
Yeah, I just need a green heron rotor so I can rotate my rotor down and load my antenna that way. So we just got a fun day green heron rotor in the meantime.
I know a great logging program we can all use.
Of course.
I will say in that regard, I know that there are plans to do some podcast type live stuff. That's above my pay grade, but if y'all are interested in that, let me know and I'll run it up the flagpole and see if we can handle one more group. So you could actually see in real time or close to real time. You got to remember, essentially, the time on Bouvet is GMT, which is 7 hours, I think, ahead, roughly, of where I live. So, it's noon here and it's 7 o'clock there.
Okay.
But that might be a possibility.
We have to do an early stream of some sort. Maybe to figure some of that out.
So yeah, Marvin, he serves as my impromptu producer. So you two stay in contact and let's make this thing happen for sure. I love this idea.
Yeah, I like it a lot. That's a really cool idea for sure. So
I will go ahead and say sayonara to you guys and officially hand the keys over to Marvin, even though he's been in control the whole time. So y'all try to be nice to Marvin. Don't be rough. Y'all behave. Don't make me come out there.
I can just do things like this and like, where'd Dave go? I don't know.
Well, I want Dave to remember that on Monday I'll be flying over him most likely. So we'll see if we can make some arrangements on something. But anyway, guys, appreciate everybody watching HamShack TV. If you haven't already, hit that like, subscribe button, and jump in the comments, that kind of thing. If you missed if you missed this conversation in full, as soon as this video or as soon as Marvin kills the stream, YouTube will process it and it'll still be available. So you can go back and watch the whole thing. Fantastic content. I will be breaking this up into shorts. You'll see shorts premiering throughout the next 4-ish days from this. So hope you enjoyed the presentation. And next week, make sure you come back. Marvin will still be at the helm. Spooky ghost stories. We're gonna dress this thing up. I've already made a little Halloween background for Marvin there. So y'all come back next Thursday, the day before Halloween, and get the pants scared off of you, but don't go on camera without your pants, please. 7 threes, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Marvin,
change
he's not gonna be here next week, so it's gonna be Clubhouse and not be Clubhouse.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Just the only thing I ask is don't get me demonetized.
No, we won't. Absolutely. Another couple comments in here. The whole world would be looking for this one in the books. The pilots are going to be crazy. Absolutely. I agree that's going to be the case probably. Another one here. Again, World Radio League needs a special spotter for this. Maybe Andy, you can put something together for that one. And I thought I had one more in there that was hiding somewhere. I don't see it right offhand, but I think this is going to be pretty cool, and really looking forward to this as well. This is going to be quite the adventure to go on, and certainly something to be a part of. So, well, we are at our we have 2 hours have just gone by. This has been awesome. I want to say, first of all, thank you for all that have joined this evening, all that have been watching. We've had a great number of people here in the show this evening. All your guys' questions, your comments, they've just been absolutely just fabulous, and really appreciate you being active and taking part in that chat, because without you, we can't make this show happen. So we definitely appreciate you guys watching and being part of this and being with us. Bob, other than us trying to go out and give you some donations to help sponsor and fund this DXpedition, any other things that we can take away from this, and anything you want to add last minute here?
Get on the air, be patient, and have a good time. DX is.
Perfect. Absolutely. So we'll be looking forward to that. And Colin in VK says, remember, 3 months have confirmed 241 DXCCs, but no Bouvet yet. So, well, you've got yours coming. So absolutely. So that's going to be good for that along the way. So that's going to get your DXCCs, get in there and try and run some of those. And if you haven't done DX chasing yet, you got time to do it before you get to Bouvet, so that you're prepared and ready to go, because it does take a little bit of a skill, I would say, to be able to do a little DXpedition, or to chase DX. I'm sorry, because you can't just. It's not like a normal contest weekend or maybe a POTA pileup of some sort. It takes a little bit of skill to get in there, and you can certainly do it in 100 watts. I think people are going to be, I think it's certainly capable, depending on propagation and weather and how you guys are running. Now, one thing I did notice, you guys said you're only running 500 watts. Are you going to be running anything more than that, or you just don't feel like you guys need to run more than 500 watts on that?
The power outputs were selected because of fuel consumption and the ability to be able to bring fuel. That's a problematic part of the DXpedition.
Okay.
And you may recall, Marvin, I said that each camp will have 2 stations that are QRO, so full legal limit out.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I'm sorry. So,
And then the balance of them will be running 500-ish watts.
okay. So it'll be-
Andy is making me nervous.
He's just making notes, trying to figure out how to do the spotter thing already.
Oh no, he's been. I think he's still chasing. Somebody said in the chat, chasing Mickey Mouse. I think he's still chasing that mouse.
He might be, absolutely.
I don't think he's got his speakers on.
No, he's not. He's not talking there. So,
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Sorry, I'm trying to chase down this dumb mouse that got in my shack.
I was right.
absolutely. Well, Bob, it has been. I think I have to reiterate what Josh said. It's just been an absolute pleasure to have you in here this evening. Been great being in contact with you this fall. Like I said, Bob did my tower work for me back in September and did an absolutely just fabulous job with it. And during that time, we were able to talk about him getting on this DXpedition team to go. And I thought, man, what a great opportunity that would be to be able to share that out. And so I appreciate you taking your time, your 2 hours this evening from your day to come and share this with others. And we just greatly appreciate that. This has been huge. And again, thank you for all that's watching and that's shared.
It's time for a drink.
Yep. My throat's starting to get a little dry too. I'm a little, I forgot to bring my water bottle down when I came. So I'm a little dry right now myself. So plus allergies have been hitting me hard today for some reason. So that's not helping me any either. But
And say hi to your bride for me.
I will glad to do that. I will let her know for sure. So, anyway, guys, Andy, anything from you? Thank you for sticking out with us this evening as well. Any other questions or thoughts?
No, I will just reiterate what you said. Thank you so much for coming on here and joining us. It was a ton of fun. This has been just a fantastic stream. A lot of good information. I really enjoyed it. So thank you. And no, I do not need I might need a barn cat, but definitely not a cat for the shack. Thank you. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a lot of great information, and I'm looking forward to the debrief already. So, and to hunting you guys very much. So I'm super excited.
It's your Pepe's chat there, Marvin.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to go ahead and drop. I'll let you guys wrap it on up, but great seeing y'all tonight. Have a great evening.
Hey, Andy, I'll text message you the brief for next week real quick. So,
okay.
I'll send you a message. So,
yeah, you can shoot it to me. Absolutely.
I will.
7-3, guys.
Right. Dave, any questions or other thoughts or lasting comments here before we shut this down?
No, I think most of the questions were answered. Try to get most of the streams. Looking forward to hopefully everything goes right so they can land and we can chase Bouvet Island.
Absolutely.
And you said can be done with 100 watts? Oh, yeah, it can definitely be done with 100 watts. Do most of my contacts with 100 watts. But I will say, it wasn't really talked about, if you're new in the chat and new to ham radio, remember when you're going chasing these DXpeditions, they do run split. It won't be straight normal channel. They always run split, so pay attention to that.
Yep, absolutely. That's very true.
Yeah, and my last thought, piggybacking on that, Dave, is, you got to understand the sense of pace. Mm-hmm. And I said before, it's all about rate. And the faster we can empty the queue, the better it is, because that means we complete more queues. So for the little pistols and the average guy, the 100 watts with a tri-bander or wires and that sort of thing, don't get frustrated when you don't get through right away, because you won't.
You won't.
It's just not realistic for you to expect that.
I think maybe
our mission is going to be to knock all those big guys out of there so that we get to a point where it's kind of the rest of the world. And then we'll be able to pick you out. Just stay at it.
There's tricks to it too.
Yep.
Because, like I said, most here in my shack now, and I've been a ham for 31 years. I only run 100 watts here, and there's a lot of guys that are going full QRO and these big major pileups, and I get to break the pile up with these guys running 1500 watts with 100 watts. So there's little tricks you can do. Everybody thinks it's the power. Power is nice, but it's all your antenna. That's where everything's at.
Well, that's the one thing. I think we'll have to come back and do another stream here at some point, talking about what the type of tricks you can do, and some of the things that you might be able to do to help prepare for a DXpedition, and when you want to chase one, or just maybe chasing contests in general. Anytime you do a contest, and sometimes a lot of that just comes down to your audio, having the correct parametric settings in your radios. Especially, I know the ones for Yaesu and what you need. That can help out a lot. So maybe we'll just do another episode on that and just talking about what it takes to prepare for a contest and things like that. That'd be very interesting. So
it might be a good one because you can slide off a couple KCs too.
Yeah.
And that changes your tone completely to the pile up. And I don't know how many times I've broken pile ups like that. And as soon as they call my call sign, I go right back up to the frequency they're on.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of times it's my deeper voice and audio that I have set in my radios that just makes a huge difference in busting through sometimes. So absolutely. So that's just one of the tricks that I use myself. So anyway, I'm going to put you guys backstage real quick and we'll wrap this up and get this going. So anyway, we'll see you guys in just a minute here in the backstage here. Well, folks, thank you for joining again this evening. We've had a lot of you guys watching this and you're stuck it out with us this evening. I hope you found that this was a very educational and informative HamShack TV this week. So something I kind of put together again. I got to know Bob back in September and thought this would be a great time to bring this on and start talking about Bouvet and what it takes to prepare for a DXpedition. So just want to say thank you all. And I hope you'll again join us next week. We'll be talking about the fears of frequency. And you'll find out a little bit more about what that's going to consist of. And please share this out. Please share it with others. Again, I think it's a lot of good information out there, what it really takes to do this and run with the show. So, or for DXpedition. So thank you for joining the show this evening. And we'll catch you next week on HamShack TV 73. All right, I'm going to do it. This Josh's
money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man. All right, money isn't everything.
So we didn't have a super chats or anything this week, but we've got to play it as usual going out. It's great to have. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a great one. And again, we'll catch you next week. Number 3.